Good evening, everyone. It is Mama Christine's podcast, Living Life Through Experience. It is season 2. This is episode number 25. So it's a hot one today. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so I've been thinking about what I'm going to talk about. And this is something that really kind of irks me. And I think it's a good idea to bring it up. Not just for self, but it's kind of where everyone is at the moment, or at least majority of people. So my thing today is, first let's draw a card. Just a quick message, right? So here we go. Peace. Peace comes from remembering that only love is real, right? And it's true. The rest of it is just junk. Love is the only thing. It comes from our heart center. It comes from God, the universe. That is the true original emotion. And, if you want to be in a peaceful place, then you have to do things in your life to make change or to do some healing or whatever it may be so you can find the peace that you're looking for. And I think it's appropriate for today's talk because I feel like a lot of people are not at peace. And what I mean by that is there is a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on right here where we live, in our state, in our country, in the world, and so on and so forth. And I find that we as a society are becoming very disconnected. And I have to say that the thing that drives me absolutely crazy is, one thing I enjoy when I get up in the morning, I like to grab my coffee and I like to sit, listen to just music in the background. And of course, radio, it has commercials. And the commercials come on and I just cringe. Because one of the commercials is, don't forget your kids in the back seat. They might be quiet, so you might forget about them. And I think to myself, and oh my God, when I had my children, they were at the top of my priority list. If I went shopping, I got them out of the car, into the house, settled in, and then I would bring in my stuff. If I went to the store, they were always with me. I didn't forget them in the back seat. I didn't forget them at home. I mean, who does that? And I know it's happened. And it makes you wonder, where is your mind at if you've done that? Nobody is in the present moment anymore. It does not seem like anybody is in the present moment. Everybody is always on, oh my God, look what happened in the past, to, oh my God, what's going to happen in the future? And then, of course, to me, it's just, children are the most gracious gift that you can get in this world. And yet, they should be the first thing on your list, your priorities. The first thing you think of is, your kids. And our minds are on everything else. And what I'm going to say to you right now makes perfect sense of what's happening right now. But nobody seems to look at it that way. I'm going to go with the craziest thing first and say, I think we've been programmed with these damn smartphones, I really do, because they are attached to our hip. We would never, ever leave the house without it, would we? It is in our pocket, it's in our handbag, it is in the car, it is everywhere, and we do not leave it behind. In fact, we don't even let the battery get too low before recharging it, because that phone is important, right? So are children. So why is it your phone is getting more attention than your own kids? This is the mindset I'm talking about. And I'm not picking on anyone in particular. I'm just saying, as a society, what is going on? What is going on? The second commercial I can't stand is, don't forget, people, it's hot outside. Don't leave your pets in the car. First and foremost, again, a pet is a living thing. And I look at that, if you wouldn't keep your ass in a car at 90 degrees. What makes you think your pet can stay in the car at 90 degrees? Where's people's mentality? Where is the thought process? What is going on? Where is the mindfulness? I think in today's society, majority of the people have a mind that is full, where they forget what they're really supposed to be doing. Where we want you to be mindful, meaning you know where you're at in this present moment. It's just crazy. And these are the things that irk me. As a society, as a worldwide society, why is this happening? Why are people so all over the place? And why, first and foremost, are you or anybody you know allowing yourself to get in this position? Because remember, everything is a choice. And I know we all have things going on in our lives that can put us in a mindset of craziness. And yes, we may forget something. But why would you forget your pets? Why would you forget your children? Forget your handbag, maybe. You can drive back and get it. But it's just, these are the things that are happening. And I'm saying you've got to get yourself back to focus in the present moment. Mindfulness, not having a mindful. And how do we do that? We have to bring balance back into our lives. We truly do. Oh my goodness. I look at how much the young generation starting families at this point, how much they have to do, and how much I had to do when I had my kids, and how much my parents did with us when I was a kid. And it's like, wow. Generations today are life on steroids. They really are. Because mom has to work, dad has to work, because God forbid, nobody can survive on a paycheck anymore. So both people have to work. And then, you have children. Everybody wants to have children, and that's great. I did too. But then it's like, okay, well, we need to both work because we both have to pay for the house and for the bills and the food and the insurances and God knows what else. And then it's like, well, the kids should be involved in something because, if they just sit around, that's not good for them either. So let's get them involved in something. And then there's so many things that they're involved in that you're getting up, you're getting ready in the morning, and it's off to school, dropping the kids off, going to work, picking the kids up, going to this club, going to that club, maybe even a second club, and then it's run home and it's a late dinner, then it's clean up and it's baths and bed, and start all over again the next day. And it's like, where is the rest? Where is the balance? Where is the, oh my God. It's a lot. It is a lot. And it's like, one, is it society that's pushing us to do this much because we need to do that? Or is it ourselves that don't want to sit still, so we keep ourselves so busy we don't have to pay attention to what's really bothering us? Is it society as a whole that, these are the rules, you should be go, 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 go? And I'm like, society is stupid, okay? Society should not be your rule. Society should be the people within it that collaborate as human beings, not leading a group, telling them how life is supposed to be lived now. I mean, when I was a kid, yeah, there was things I did. I was always wanting to join, Bluebirds and Girl Scouts and Brownies and, all those different things, Campfire Girls. And I went to school and I had a few friends, but there was so much time where we had downtime. We had family time. We had, small vacations, days outside in the yard, playing ball, going in the pool, things like that. And it's like, wow, what has happened? So this is where I say, no matter where society is telling you should be, you need to go where you know you need to be. And if that means more home and less stuff, then do that. Bring balance back into your life, because it's just craziness. It is absolute craziness. And we're so busy taking care of everything and everyone else, we're not taking care of ourselves. We truly are not. You might think you are, but when you go to bed at night, you're crashing from exhaustion, mental, emotional, physical exhaustion. It's not like, okay, it's time for bed and you go have a nice restful sleep. I can bet you it's not all that restful. So let's pull a few more cards and see where we're at. Oh, there we go. First and foremost, take your power back. Again, things can only go crazy if you allow it. And I know some people may say, well, my job is very demanding and I have to be there and I have to be this and I have to do that. And I'm like, yeah, and your family needs you too. You need you. Your kids need you, right? It's where your mindset is where you're going to be. And all I can tell you is take your power back. I did the whole marriage thing. I had 3 kids and I had theater clubs and after school clubs and softball clubs and whatnot, and working and cooking and cleaning, and I did all that. But I also made sure that by a certain time every day I was done. And this is where I sat my butt down and said, I'm resting, because I want to rest before I go to bed. I don't want to just come in from like, oh my God, what a day. All right, let's go to bed. No, I needed to rest before I went to bed. And I think everybody should do that. And I took my power back and I chose what I needed to do for myself as well as everybody else in the house. What was best for the kids. Taking care of yourself. Nurture. Maybe it's time you start nurturing yourself and not everybody else. And not doing everything the society says you should be doing because that's what everybody does. Just because it works for one does not mean it works for everybody. So please do what's best for you and nurture yourself. Get your rest, go to yoga, go to a meditation, do whatever makes you happy. Because you will find that once you start focusing more so on what is best for you internally, and then your children, is when this happens, gifts from God. Meaning, nothing religious per se, but things are coming to you in a way that shows you that your life is imbalanced. Is in balance, I should say, not imbalanced. In balance, because we're all over the place and we need to stop doing that because it's affecting our mindfulness. And like I said, for people to start leaving their kids in the car that so bad that we have to have a commercial on the radio to remind you to check your back seat, that's a problem. That is a problem. Now, if you find, for whatever reason, mentally and emotionally, you just can't handle, you cannot deal with life, with the craziness, with all those things, then maybe try counseling. There's nothing wrong with that. Find somebody you can talk to. If you don't want to go to a counselor, you don't think maybe that's the way to go for you, and you think maybe a life coach like myself, or a best friend, a family member, somebody, talk to whoever you need to talk to sort out your stuff, because that's important. That is definitely very important. You need that. So think about that. So again, don't be so stubborn. That's the indigo. The indigo kid is the person who is stubborn. They may be very intuitive, they may be very loving, but again, very stubborn. And sometimes stubbornness can be a good thing, sometimes not so much. So think about that, okay? So again, mindfulness. What can we do to keep ourselves mindful or in a mindful place? Again, not a mind full of things that we need to do or be, go, or whatever, but being mindful in a sense of knowing where you are in that present moment, balanced, and your energy is circulating as it should, okay? Meditation. And it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be, totally scripted, or you don't have to sit like a pretzel and om for an hour. Sit quietly. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, listen to some quiet meditative music in the background. If you're somebody who needs focus, then do a guided meditation. Maybe on a nice summer day, in the evening even, sit outside, listen to the nature sounds. That's meditative. If you're somebody who crochets or knits or does a hobby of some sort, that can be very meditative. Gardening, working with your plants, your flowers, whatever. Find those things. So meditation as a whole. The next thing I would say is do some journaling, because again, when our mind is so full of stuff, something's got to come out, okay? And this is where I say do some journaling, because journaling will definitely help you to release and let go of the heavy, stuck feelings we have. Maybe we have friend problems, family problems, relationship problems, tough times with the kids, who knows, whatever's going on in life, your job sucks, I don't care, whatever. Write a letter, write in your journal, whatever you need to do, but force yourself to create this habit because it helps. I would not emphasize this so much if it didn't help. It helps. So do it. If you have someone or something specific that is going on that has got you in such a space of anxiety or anger or stress or whatever it is, then write a letter to that specific thing or person and express yourself, yelling, screaming, hollering, swearing. It doesn't matter. Get it all out on paper and then take it outside and burn it. Get rid of it, okay? So meditation, do some journaling, clear your space. People may say, well, what's that got to do with it? Well, I mean, think about it. Have you ever been in a room that is just so cluttered with stuff it makes you feel uneasy? Your space is like that, okay? I'm not saying your space is messy. I'm just saying home is like that. If your home is cluttered with, oh, I haven't gotten to the dishes yet, the laundry's piling up, or the trash is piling up, and whatever, or I've had this stuff sitting around forever and I've been meaning to get rid of it, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. Pick a closet, pick a drawer, something that's cluttered with stuff, and start cleaning. I'm not saying clean your whole house in a day, but start with one room or one closet or one drawer or something and start purging. Because all this old stuff that just sits around and collects dust and creates more stuff in your space, it makes your energy very uneasy. So do some purging. Purging is good, especially even clothes. Like, oh, I might wear that in 3-4 years down the road, but I might wear that. You haven't worn it in that long, you're not going to. Give it away. Give it to Savers or give it to some donation nonprofit or something. Somebody else can use it. So, be mindful of that. Other things, go for walks. I know when I go for a walk, I feel amazing after. And I go with a friend, so sometimes if something's on my mind, I have somebody to talk to at the same time. But I do, walking moves your energy, and it makes you feel so much better. Even if you're physically in pain, and I don't mean excruciating pain. I mean, I get a backache or my knee is bothering me or something like that. Get up and move. Sometimes we're not moving enough, and by not moving, you make everything stiff, which makes everything hurt more. Sometimes we need to move our bodies to get them to feel better. Go to the gym, right? Go to church if you like to go to church. Go to a spiritual group. Go to a book club. Go whatever makes you happy. Find those little things that work for you. Go for a massage. Get some Reiki done. Do some other types of energy work. Whatever works for you that you enjoy, that gets you in a good space, do that. These are ways of allowing ourselves to let go of the old, to let go of the anger, to bring ourselves back to center so that we can be more mindful, right? Living in the present moment, not the past, that's depression, not the future, that's anxiety, but right here, right now, the present moment, which, as they say, in the present, because it's a gift, right? So, again, when you do all these little things for yourself, and I can tell you they work, okay? I would never, ever promote something in such a fashion if it didn't work, okay? I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm explaining to you that as a human being, this is how a human being can feel better. And when you do the work, because that's what it is work, okay? And that's another thing that kind of bugs me today is there's so much out there that gives you that quick fix, and those things bug me just as well. Instead of like cholesterol, for example, instead of changing your diet, and this is not about everybody, because I know a lot of people work hard to change their diet and they walk and they exercise and yet their cholesterol doesn't change. But if you find out you've got high cholesterol or something else going on with you that you could fix or manipulate by changing your eating habits, doing some movement, going to exercise more, whatever it may be, we're too damn lazy. We don't want that. Just give me a pill. You pop a pill, takes not even 30 seconds, right? 10 seconds, and boom, it's going to fix it for me. But it technically doesn't fix it for you. Because whatever you're doing to find that quick fix might fix that one thing, but something else is going to pop up. And there goes the problem. But it's like today, anything to market junk to people. use my machine, it does this, take this pill, it does that, take this supplement, it does that. It makes us lazy. Instead of getting up and doing what we need to do, it's making us lazy. And this, again, goes back to you're not being mindful of where you're at and what you're doing. You know, it's just like shopping. I mean, hey, I get it. You know, I wasn't fortunate enough to have like, you know, what do you call it? Curbside pickup. When I had my kids went with me everywhere. I used to use 2 shopping carriages, 2 for the girls, 1 for my son, and to put all the groceries in. And I'd go through every store like that. And I did it because it had to be done. There was no curbside pickup at that time. And, you know, there was no Instacart either. And I prefer to buy my own stuff anyway. So, you know, it's just one of those things. But I find that I understand through the COVID thing, these things had to happen. Okay, fine. But that was 6 years ago. And why is it people are still like pushing buttons to order stuff and just driving up, popping a trunk, and then driving home? There's no movement anymore. Oh, I don't understand why my back is stiff or my knee is stiff or, you know, my hips are stiff. Or, well, you don't move. Even myself, I sit at the desk here. I sit and do readings. I stand in one spot and do Reiki. But I make sure in between I get up and I walk, even if it's a few feet this way and a few feet that way. Do something to move. Plus, I walk 4 to 5 times a week outside, and each time is 3 to 5 miles. So I make sure I am moving, because I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to grow older and find myself stiff as a board, not being able to get out of my own house because I can't move anymore. I refuse to do that. So let's stop being lazy. Put the damn phone down, okay? At one point in our lives, a phone was only to make a phone call, to connect with somebody on the other side, right? There was no such thing as carrying your phone, wallet, oh my God, your health, paperwork. I mean, everything. Your health is on there. Your life is on this damn phone. But again, you don't need to be on it every minute of every day. Put the damn thing down. Smell some fresh air. Get outside. Go in the ocean. Go for a swim. You know, all these different things. Be mindful. Get yourself in a good space. Forget the phone. Remember your kids. Forget the phone. Remember your dog, right? Your cat, whatever. Mindfulness. And when you do the work, such as meditating and journaling and exercising or walking or crafting or whatever it is that makes you happy, whatever works for you, this is what you get. Victory, because by doing those things, you're focusing on yourself, which gets you more centered. You're mindful. You know who you are, where you are, and what you're doing. So let's work on that, people. Okay? Let's work on that, because again, the craziness of having to listen to commercials on TV about don't forget your kids in the back seat, that's nuts. Don't forget your dog, it's hot outside. Oh my God, right? We shouldn't have to be doing that. Would you ever imagine an animal out in the wild, or even your domesticated dog or cat, having puppies or kittens or whatever the animals are having, right? And deciding to go play with a ball outside instead of staying in to nurse their young? No. Everything is that puppy or that kitten up until a certain point. Then it's like, okay, you're weaned off and now you got to do your thing. And it's like, wow. Like, animals don't forget their young. They don't forget to feed them. They don't forget to watch over them. I mean, yeah, granted, they don't have all the craziness we do, but maybe we shouldn't have all that craziness, right? Make sense? It makes sense to me. Less is more. Less is more. Remember that. And for those of you so attached to your phone that you feel like every time it rings, especially if it's somebody you don't want to talk to anymore, or an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, whatever, just because the phone rings doesn't mean you have to answer it. That is the one blessing of today. We have that caller ID and we know exactly who's calling. And if we don't recognize the number or it says unknown, we don't have to answer it. Even if you know who it is and you're not in a space to talk, then do not answer the phone, okay? If it's an emergency, they will leave a message or they'll keep calling. Again, even with an ex, I do it myself. When my ex decided to call, I would see his name and I go, nope. And I would let it go to voicemail. If it's important, I'll call back. If it's stupid, I'm not answering. I'm not going to respond. No response is a response, okay? So even the text messages, I hear people all the time, oh, they left me on red. Way back when that first started becoming a comment, I was like, what does it mean, read? But they meant, did the person read it? And it would say READ, which meant they read it. And I'm like, oh, okay, so they read it. Well, they didn't respond. But they read it, so they know what it says. Why do they have to respond? Okay? And again, the instant gratification. Why? I need an answer. Why? They read it. If they figure it out that they need to, whatever, I'm sure they'll respond to you. Yeah, well, I just sent it. They should send it right back. And I'm like, oh, wow, relax. Again, it's like instant gratification, that damn phone, forgetting things. And it's like, people, again, today's lesson, be mindful. Do not have a mind that is full, because it's going to mess with your life and you're going to be so disappointed that things are just not going well. Look at what you're doing. Look at what's happening. And again, bring yourself back to center, mindful. That is today's talk. So I hope you enjoyed it. And by all means, I was not picking on anybody in particular. Okay. This is a society-wide thing. It really is. So breathe. Thank you for watching, and I will see all of you next week.